Hey guys, Cox here. Multi-rank 1 Holy Paladin, Mythic Plus title holder every single tier, and today I'm bringing you a pull-by-pull breakdown of the Motherlode on a plus 20 key as a Holy Paladin in the War Within Season 2. This isn't just a basic dungeon guide. I'm going to walk you through every single pull, every cooldown, and every decision I make, from positioning to utility to burst healing. Let's get into it. This first pull is very standard. Just run in there. You want to try to get your tiers up before you start the pull. That way you can judgment and put down a consecrate instantly. And the thing you're doing here, for the most part, you're just trying to kick the vendors if they ever get any cast off, and hodge the assassins on their AoE dagger abilities. Okay, now if the ability ever goes off, you can cleanse one stack, but you don't want it to continuously go off. So you want to just like right there when it AoE'd, you want to use a stop for that, whether it being hodge or blind or any stop in the group. And then you want to kick the toxic blades because it applies a stacking debuff on that right there, toxic blades. If that goes off, it applies a stacking debuff on people. If people get stunned by the vendors, you want to also cleanse them ASAP because they take a ton of damage and they get stunned. Other than that, you're really just putting down consecrates, spamming judgment on cooldown, and spamming shield of righteousness as that pull non-stop, doing as much damage as you possibly can. You see that pull I ended with 3.5 million damage, which is pretty decent. Now I'm also healing build in this key, so I'm not damage build. You want to prioritize healing in this key because you have so much time in this key. As you'll see by the end of the key, we make a ton of mistakes. We have a few deaths and we still end up timing the key. Right here, while you're running up there, you want to try to stack up your holy power to 5 and use your blessings. If you don't have blessing of summer or blessing of autumn right there, if you have blessing of spring and blessing of winter, you want to use it on cooldown instantly. And you also want to swap the Crusader aura here. This is a basic skip here that people do in higher keys. So you want to have Crusader aura up here just to help out moving faster. Into this next pull, what you're going to look out for is just dodging and kicking the Earthshapers while prepping for the Extractor AoE. Okay, now we're going to want to try to put up consecrates as much as possible every single pull, every single the entire key. I swap beacons here to my mage and my druid because my tank is insanely good and he knows how to live without my beacon. But ideally here, you want to put your beacon on one tank and the boomy. Keep down consecrates, keep refreshing consecrates, and prepare for those extractor AoEs and be ready to heal them. Right here I do a tears because the first extractor I casted wings, and into this next one I want to precast tears to have it up. You want to be very mindful of rock lances and try to kick them, stun them, or blind them, and if they ever go off, you need to instantly heal the target that they're on. Usually I bubble the second extractor here because I don't really need bubble for the boss, and the extractor is actually harder than the boss anyways. So the first pull is the first extractor is usually wings into toll into all my cooldowns. The second extractor is usually AM, sack, lay on hands, literally any cooldown that I have, bubble, everything else that I have. As you can see here, I didn't even use my trinket, which is like the most overpowered defensive ability we have. Running this trinket, that trinket basically makes you unkillable versus any mechanic in the game right now on any key level. Right here, we're going to continue to keep the beacon off the tank here. For bosses specifically, you almost never beacon the tank aside the last boss in this is key. We're going to swap beacon every now and then to the tank, but not very often. As you can see right here, I'm trying to get the first kick, that way I can go to the boss and position myself. Right here, when we're doing this trash onto the boss, if you are doing this trash onto the boss, you want to make sure you keep every single person full health the entire time any of those trash mobs are up, just in case they randomly hit people, because the rats throw rocks at random people and they could actually die. So if the boss casts the AoE knockback and they get a rock thrown at them as well, they can get global in one shot. Right here I get the kick, make sure we get that mob in, put down consecrates, spam judgments on cooldown, spam eternal flames. I'm keeping my party topped up here the entire time while these mobs are up. I want to autumn the mage here. Normally I autumn myself because I'm greedy. If you're dealing in lower keys, I would just honestly spam every single blessing you have on yourself, the entire key. I wouldn't worry about micromanaging the blessings on anyone else. I would just, like, I would say if you're doing anything lower than a 17, I would spam blessings on yourself. Right here, we want to prep for the pulse. So every single static pulse, you want a divine protection, and you will have divine protection every single static pulse. You want to Holy Prism the boss to passively heal the group. As you can see here, I stopped healing my group because the rats are not up anymore, or whatever the mobs are called that throw the rocks. They're not up anymore, so there's really no rush to top my party here. I'm just doing as much damage as I possibly can. See, right now I'm doing 1.7 million damage on a boss. And I just want to have everyone at full health before the static pulse. And just prepare for it. Right here, we're going to Divine Protection. Divine Protection early, so it's up earlier, but just make sure you have it up for the static pulse. At the same time that the pulse just happened, I Holy Prism the boss to get a heal on everyone while spam judging the boss. Right here, you see I'm not rushing to heal my druid up. He's extremely low health, but I don't really care about healing him right now because I have 25 seconds right there when I started healing him to keep him alive. I should not have even wogged him there. I should have just Shield of Righteousness the boss. Like, I would have just passively healed him to full health, just attacking the boss. I still have 8 seconds. Right here, we have Divine Protection coming up. So Divine Protection is going to be up for every single static pulse. I press wings here. I probably shouldn't have pressed wings here. I should have held. If the boss is ever like under 300 million health on this boss specifically, you should probably hold wings for the next pull. But for the most part with this key and this higher key level, I'm just kind of just pressing wings on cooldown aside from one boss. Okay, so there's no point to heal my party up right now. Tank got kind of chunked there, so I wogged him to make sure he doesn't cheat death there. Down up. You could swap Crusader Aura here as well, but it doesn't really matter that much. Next pull here, we got an Extractor pull. This is a really hard one. You want to get down to Judgment, Consecrates. Basically, you're putting Consecrates and Judgments up on cooldown the entire key. Right? You're min-maxing your damage. I get a Tears Up before the AoE because I don't have wings. I get a small proc wings. I should have probably held that Judgment a little bit longer, have it longer during this AoE. I Divine Toll my party because I know I'm going to be behind here. Normally I Divine Toll the mobs here to help with damage, but I don't have wings, so we're going to be a little bit weak. Notice I still have Beacon on the mage and the druid. Once again, this is because my tank knows how to mitigate damage and knows when to use his cooldowns properly. Normally you would swap Beacon on this trash to the tank. Okay, we got an Extractor here. The AoE started casting for the third Extractor, but I noticed the mob was extremely low health, so I didn't really panic or heal anybody because I knew I was going to die before anybody got in trouble. Right here, we're just spam keeping Consecrates down, spam Judgmenting, and then spam Shield of Righteousnesses. Right there, I should have probably held my wings, my Awakening Wings there for this pull specifically because I pressed Awakening Wings as the mobs died, so it's kind of wasted an Awakening proc. Right here, we're just going to press wings on cooldown most likely. Yep, on cooldown. We want to get it up here as soon as possible because you don't want to wings the next pull because you want to get wings for the boss, okay? Because this is the hardest boss in this key. There's not a boss in this key that is harder than this boss, okay? First boss is a joke. The third boss is hard, but it's not harder than this one, in my opinion. Right here, we're just spamming Holy Prism on ourselves, spamming doing damage. Right here, I should have swapped Beacon on the tank here because this is one of the pulls that you want to swap beacons on the tank specifically because this Ascari guy does a nasty, nasty tank bleed, right? So I should have swapped Beacon from the mage to the tank here. So make sure you're doing that if you're running this key. Now Judgments, spamming Shield of Righteousnesses, spam doing damage. Right here, I wasn't able to put down a Consecrate to refresh its to min-max it because my tank is just getting absolutely destroyed. So I'm spam healing him. I'm able to recover here, and I go back to just doing damage. And I finally swap Beacon to the tank. I should have done that probably a minute ago, and I would have done a lot more damage on this bull if I had done that. Spam doing damage. As you notice, with my trinket that I'm running the Mythic Galliwix tank trinket that negates 75% damage, up to like 11 million damage. So it is an absurd amount of damage reduction. I should be using this ability a lot more, but to be completely honest, I rarely run this trinket, so I'm not really used to it. I would advise using this trinket like anytime you're in trouble if you're playing it, because it quite literally makes you immortal. Okay, so here I don't have wings, but we have lust, right? So I should be fine. I'm focusing on spam healing right now, but I should be doing damage to skull, which is the empowered ad. What I want to do here is just divine toll. We want to have divine toll for every single time that this ad is up and empowered. Okay, I had an awakening proc there, so that was lucky. Now this next set of ads should be okay because I have wings for it, but we're not going to have lust, right? So we are going to be in a little bit of trouble. You don't want to defensives this that AoE right there, the resonant quake, because you need to defensive when this ad gets empowered. Okay, when this ad gets empowered, it takes a ton more damage and it does a ton of pulsing rate party-wide AoE damage, and you want to have divine toll up every single time this ad is up. And this is a boss you want to use every single blessing on yourself, and you don't really want to worry about damage here. You just want to worry about living. If you can do damage to this ad, do so. If not, make sure you keep your party alive, okay? Because that's going to be the hardest thing on this boss, is that ad. Notice I don't use a single cooldown during the quake right there, and I live it on a 20 pretty easily, and I just passively heal for the next ad, which is in 1 second. Right here I'm pretty short on holy power, but I'm trying to like stack it up. I put down a consecrate before the ad comes out, and what I should have done here is I should not have put down that consecrate. I should have just kept stacking up holy power, and I should have instantly divine told as soon as the ad started getting empowered. Right here I wall. I'm starting to fall behind here, but I have to bubble randomly. He cloaks. I should be able to lay on hands the druid, and we should be okay here because the ad died, right? I need to top the mage and myself before this AoE happens. Yeah, I barely topped myself there, but I was fine because I still lived with like 20% health, so I was big chilling right there. I should save this awakening proc for the ad, which I did so here. I used it a tiny bit early, but I still got off the divine toll with the wings up, which is what's important here. Right here, notice I'm like min-maxing my wogs instead of instantly divine tolling there, because you don't really want to waste holy power during this ad, because healing is so difficult and it requires so much healing during those ads if your DPS are not properly swapping to those ads, that you need to min-max your healing during that. You see how I'm barely topping every single person up during some of these ads. Now on this next ad, I have you want to get that holy prism proc up, you want to get those dawn lights up, and you want to get your divine favor proc up as well before the ad. Right here I pop wings and I awakening proc to extend the wings, and I'm big chilling. I'm big chilling on this ad, right? But this ad is gonna live a bit longer. Notice I'm able to also do damage on this ad a little bit. I'm able to judgment it. I'm able to holy shock it a little bit. I summer for some damage, right? So right here we're starting to fall behind, and I noticed that, and it's fine though because we still have like 3 seconds to top everyone. I holy light that, judgment, wog, whatever. As long as you have everybody above, like, I would say on a 20, you want to have everybody above 90% health. Right there, you see what just happened? My druid got meleeed by the ad right before an ad phase, and I instantly bought the bleed off because we don't want to have that bleed out. So when the ad that is fixated melee somebody, it applies a stacking bleed on them, and you don't want to have those bleeds up during the AoE, because it's the AoE itself, it's already difficult enough. So if your target is taking even more damage, it's gonna make the fight a lot harder. This next pull is a really hard pull actually. If your tank is doing this, you should be swapping beacon to the tank and yourself on this pull specifically. You could also do it on the tank and the druid. Ideally you want to pre-tiers before the tank pulls here, and you want to pick a target to spam kick and spam hodge the entire pull. So pre-tiers, the cast is on me. I put down a consecrate, I put down a judgment, I holy prism myself, I cleanse. Essentially you're spam cleansing on cooldown here to help you with the just reward healing and getting rid of that debuff. Depending on the key level, you might not have to spam cleanse. See right there, I'm a derp. I walked right into that. I don't know how we lived this, to be completely honest. Me being silenced and being a derp. But my team is playing very, very well right now. They're dodging things, they're mitigating, they're doing damage. The tank is moving in a circle around my consecrate, which is very, very good for my damage. This pull, I'm literally just spam healing the entire time, and I'm trying to keep up judgments, and I'm trying to keep up consecrates. I'm not really worried about spamming Shield of Righteousnesses this pull, because this pull is so healing intensive. This pull and the next pull is extremely healing intensive, right? And you want to pick an ad and focus it and kick it anytime it cast transmute. And if a person gets transmuted or polyed or whatever, you need to instantly cleanse them. Okay, keep everyone alive. Good. We're getting to the next pull. Notice I used my trinket there and I didn't have to bubble or anything. You can drink in between pulls if you need to, but you want to min-max your consecrate uptime as well, so you get in there. Now these testers are going to throw echo blades at random people. You need to be max range away from them. As you can see what just happened there, the rogue got test bladed in melee and he didn't press a single defensive and he just got instantly one shot, right? So you want to make sure you press defensives accordingly. If a tester throws a weapon at you, and you don't want to be, you see right there, I pre-bubbled that one because I don't want to I want to put bubble on cooldown pretty early before the next boss, because I'm going to need bubble towards the end of the boss. But you don't really want to mess around with these testers and their weapons, because basically if a weapon target, echo blade targets you and it goes on you, you want to be away from people because it bounces and it does more and more damage, right? So it can be deadly. Like you saw there, it one shot the rogue, right, from full health. And you always want to preemptively press defensives here. You see the rogue is playing very well now. He's keeping up feign death whenever he has it, and we're using as many stops as we can. One of the sheeps went off on the mage right there, and I ended up cleansing it instantly. Cleanse that shit instantly, baby. Those PvP reflexes, insta cleanse. Now we're going to the next boss, but I got a sip of a drink there while they were setting up the pool, because we wanted to poly skip here because he didn't have Fear Sigil. And I think what ended up happening here is the mage got hit by the Echo Blade and died. This could have been a bricked key right here if I walked up too close to the mage, because if that Echo Blade bounced on me, it would have put me in combat and we would have probably wiped. Right here, he pulls the War Machine onto the boss, right? If you're pulling this War Machine onto the boss, your first AoE right here, the charge shot, ideally you want it to be on the tank only, right? But in this case, for time purposes, we instantly pull it into the boss as soon as the first one happens, right? Because I'm just essentially healing through it. Ideally, when you're doing a lower key or you have time in your group, if you're running like a meta comp with a DK or a priest or something, you want to wait for that first War Machine to cast off its charged shot out of range of you. That way it only goes on the tank. So that way, whenever you pull the War Machine into the boss, you only have you don't have that. You can ignore that first charge shot that it does, right? You mitigate all that damage. Now right here, the only healing on this boss realistically is when the War Machine casts charge shot. And what you want to do before this, you want to preemptively stack up 5 holy power and ideally have a holy prism charge. And what you want to do is you want to holy prism the boss and then spam wogs or divine tolls. Okay, it's very important that you holy prism the boss because it heals every single person, and then you either wog or you divine toll. Okay, do not worry so much about overcapping holy power on this boss. So it's okay for you to divine toll even if you're at full holy power on this boss, if 2 or 3 people are about to die during the charge shot. Okay, because this is a very, very healing intensive fight, and the charge shot on certain key levels can basically 3-shot a person. So you essentially only have 2 globals to heal, 2 to 3 globals to heal, right? And you have to heal each person at least once if they don't pop a major defensive cooldown. Otherwise they die. Like right here, I ended up sacking the mage and I died because of it. And the rogue died as well, right? Because I didn't prepare well enough for that charge shot. 2 of us died. I ended up saving the mage, but I died in the meantime. Ideally right there I should have bubbled and it would have saved the res. It's fine because we recover, we got the reses, and we keep going. Right, so as you can see, like this key specifically, you can make a ton of mistakes and you're fine. Right here I get a tears up before the next charge shot. I have my trinket, I have wall, I have bubble. I swap beacon on myself here because I'm a little scared and I really don't want to die. I press my trinket as well. Ideally what I should have done there is I should have just swapped beacon to the mage, right? Because I should never really be in danger of dying on this fight. We're also dodging mines here, aiming the propeller blast correctly, and hodging the mines if I ever need to. Right here I need a divine toll. I should not have healed the mage there because he altered. I've healed myself instead. As you can see, I'm starting to fall behind here, right? So what I should have done here is I should have swapped beacon to the mage and I should have bubbled this next charge shot, which I did bubble, but I didn't swap beacon, right? So I ended up only having to heal the mage and the rogue there, which is very good. I have divine toll coming up, so we should be being chilling here. I have wall as well. I should be able to wall this next charge shot if it does happen. Yep, I end up walling. I cast the holy light. I prism, not prism, I divine toll, and I'm just spam wogging, right? So I'm not really worried about damage on this pull. We're gonna get one more charge shot here because this ad is pretty healthy. Got to heal through one more charge shot, but I have literally no healing right now, so I'm kind of just like scrapping for healing. Luckily it died before the last tick of the charge shot there. Now right here you want to wait back. Ideally if you don't kill that specialist during the boss, you want to keep it CC'd, but like me, I wanted my DPS to hit something, so I just started tanking it, fighting it around and attacking it, because the sooner we kill this, the less clutter there is. Ideally on this pull, while your tank is gathering every single bomb, you want to stay max range so you don't get fixated. As you can see, our mage and our druid is in there attacking, and the rogue, and they're getting spam fixated, and the rogue put me in combat with the mines there, and one of the mines fixated on me, right? So whenever a mine is fixated on you on this pull specifically, because it's such a clutterfuck, you don't really want to be in melee, right? You want to prioritize on just healing and just preemptively preparing yourself for the war machine charge shot. Okay, so as you can see, like I'm not really in melee right now, min-maxing my consecrates and doing shield of righteousness damage. I'm just focusing on dodging this mine and preparing for the next charge shots and preemptively healing them, right? Because the only thing that can wipe you this pull is if the charge shot kills people or you step into mines. Okay, I hodged that mine. That mine is on me. I hodged it. Just doing the pull normally. Ideally, you want a Holy Prism earlier than I did. Like right as the first tick happens. So like your ideal setup is like if you have wings or tears up, whenever the charge shot happens after the first tick of damage, and you also want to judgment the ad right before the charge shot happens, because this will negate a part of the damage with greater judgment debuff your party. So ideally you want to watch the cast time on the charge shot, and as the first tick of damage happens, you holy prism the mob, and then you spam wogs, holy shock, wogs, holy shock, wogs. Or if you have divine toll up, you holy prism and then you wog and then you divine toll. Or if you want to be extra safe and not min-max damage, you would holy prism that mob and then divine toll and then spam wogs, even if you're full holy power. So make it a lot safer for you. Okay, now right here I'm trying to keep up as many consecrates as I can, but at the same time this is a very healing intensive pull. We lust here as well as double war machine, so double charge shot. I need to make sure that my party is topped before the second charge shot. Right there I bubbled this one. I noticed the ads are very low health, and as soon as that one war machine dies, this pull is pretty much free, right? So I decided to bubble that charge shot right there. We're gonna get one more charge shot from this ad right before it dies. We have divine toll coming up, which I press here because I'm just min-maxing healing there. Ideally I should not have healed the tank there. It was very bad me wogging the tank right there. I walled that as well. You want to use all of your cooldowns on this pull, even if the boss is right there, okay? Because you need to live this pull. This is arguably the hardest pull in this dungeon, maybe like the second hardest pull in this dungeon. Right, so we're good here. It's gonna die before the next one, so we're gonna pull the boss. Now this boss specifically, I keep a beacon on the tank and the druid, right? And sometimes if I want to min-max my healing on this boss specifically, like we have a ton of time here. We have 7 minutes once we pull this boss to kill it. So that is an absurd amount of time to kill this boss. So all we have to do is just live, right? Like, depending on the boss's health, you can wings on cooldown, but you want to make sure you have as many cooldowns as you possibly can have when the boss is at 50% health, because the hardest part of this boss starts at 50%. After that, it's very easy. So we're standing here in the safe spot, just dodging everything. Our druid is staying out there, just sitting there doing damage and not mitigating the Gatling gun. So if your druid is doing this, just make sure you heal him, because he could still die. And whenever the homing missiles come out, your party can invis these mechanics, right? So they can Night Elf Meld, Feign Death, whatever. Vanish, invis. Now, if your party cannot feign death or invis these mechanics, you need to make sure you're ready to heal them, because depending on the key level, it could two-shot them, right? So ideally, sometimes you want to recast a Holy Light with Divine Purpose, or just spam Wog them or Holy Shock them. Ideally, Holy Shock them because you want to... Not Holy Shock, sorry. Ideally, you want to Wog them because you want to Holy Shock the boss. So I ended up not pressing wings here because 50% is coming. Right here, I should have swapped the beacon to my mage, which actually I did. We go in the corner here to make the ads jump to us. Right here, I should be pressing wings very soon and Divine Tolling the party, which I just did right there. Keep down Consecrate, keep down Judgment if you can. Priority in this phase is healing and preemptively pressing your walls. Okay, so you want to wall during the AoE as the boss is coming down, or AM, and keep everyone alive. Another thing you can do here is bop somebody if they're taking a ton of damage, because you can bop the Buster Shot from the ads, right? So one of the last ad is almost dead. I get the last Holy Shock there, the last triple Holy Shock just in time for the Rising Sunlight proc, right? I Holy Light that person. The ads are dead, so I don't really have to focus on healing anymore. I just want to keep the tank alive. Just keep doing maximum damage. I should be swapping beacon back to the tank. Specifically on this boss, you want to keep beacon on the tank 24/7, because this tank absolutely, this boss absolutely rails the tank. Right, so I need to keep spam healing the druid here. So this boss has like a weird bug sometimes on the tank during the homing missile or the Gatling gun. So you never want to be near the tank when the Gatling gun is happening, because it could potentially bug out and one-shot you. I don't know what kind of bug it is, but it's really stupid. See right there, I decided to bubble. This is one of the nasty overlaps where the rockets spawn during the movement. So right here, I'm just focusing on living here, because see, we have so much time and the boss is so low. I just need to keep everyone alive here. And I think the druid dies here. Don't remember. I think he dies the next one, right? So my damage at this point is a little bit irrelevant, because we're going to time the key anyways if we just live. So right here, my I Holy Light the druid. I prism him. I wings. I extend my wings. I told the boss. I think the druid dies here because I didn't heal him. I should have topped him here, which I didn't. It was a very bad mistake. So we lost like 30 seconds right there from that death. But the boss died and we timed the key. So that's it for Motherlode, guys. I'm going to be uploading pretty much every single key with a step-by-step walkthrough of every single key as I do them. If you guys enjoy this, don't forget to follow me on twitch.tv/KillerKTV. I stream every single day. I'll see you there. Peace, peace.